always throw it in there. Oh, there's the flag.
Especially reading the procedure. Not long.
You can go ahead and get the meeting started.
Okay, welcome everyone to the first in-person and video web platform LAVTA meeting. We are conducting this meeting in person and on the web video communication platform called Zoom. In order to view and or participate in this meeting remotely, members of the public will need to download Zoom. Okay, on and on and on. All right, how to listen to the meeting. Go to Zoom. Boy, got a lot of notes here. Let's start the meeting by calling to order. Can we have roll call, please?
Yes, Director Branning,
Here.
Director Brown. Here. Vice Chair Hernandez,
Present.
Director Josie,
Present.
Director Kick. Here. Director Testa. Here. Chair Hubbard.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Okay, item 3 is meeting open to the public. Members of the audience are asked to raise their hand, and you'll have 3 minutes to speak on any item not on today's agenda.
So I didn't receive any public comments via email. However, Herb Hastings is here in person. Herb, you can go ahead and take the mic. Well, there's no mic, but there you go.
Hello, everybody. It is very strange being in a building I haven't seen probably for what, 4 or 5 years. Okay, reason I'm here, first of all, because of the change, I had to cancel tomorrow's packing. So the purpose of my attendance for today is to watch and figure out what more of a healthy way for the committee to do their upcoming meetings. And as I can see, I would encourage, and I don't know the status of everyone else, their feelings yet about in-person procedures, but I would ask on representation of the community members, if it's possible, please continue with hydrogen for members that may not be interested. That's all I have to say. Anyone have a question?
Very good, Herb. Thank you. You look the same as you did 3+ years ago. You look great. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. All right.
All right. Item 4 is a consent calendar, consent agenda. Would any member of the board care to comment or pull or speak on an item, ask questions, etc.?
Number 6 on the consent. No, I do not. Right. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you.
Here, Councilmember Commissioner Brown.
No comments. Thank you.
Oh, I thought you said it. Anybody else? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve item 4, the consent agenda.
Brown moves.
Hernandez
Approval.
will second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Yes, Director Branning,
Aye.
Director Brown,
Aye.
Vice Chair Hernandez. Aye. Director Josie,
Aye.
Director Kick. Aye. Director Testa,
Aye.
Chair Hubbard.
Before I say aye, I'm going to note that I failed to skip over public comment on the consent calendar. Seeing none, I'll vote aye. Passes unanimously.
Motion passes, and I didn't receive any public comments via email.
All right, just trying to be prompt and comprehensive with that. Item 5, the Arches Alliance for Renewable Clean Hydrogen Energy Systems, a grant letter of commitment. Before we go to the staff report, is there any public comment on this? Seeing none, staff report.
Good afternoon, board members. Nate Barreras, who is our capital projects manager, will be presenting this information or this action item for your consideration.
All right.
Board members, Well, staff's requesting that the board of directors authorize that Christine Wagner, our executive director, can sign a letter of commitment to the Arches Committee, which is the Alliance for Renewable Clean Hydrogen Energy System. So Arches was established statewide, you know that, and they're assigned to build hydrogen hubs in California. And more specifically, they want to build a hydrogen hub in Northern California, where we're at now, which would make it very much so accessible for our future hydrogen expansion, which we are trying to complete by 2034, which is 6 years ahead of the California mandated deadline. With our support and our given to the CTA, California Power Transit Association, this is going to enable other regions and other transit authorities to be able to procure hydrogen and switch to more greenhouse friendly emission standards that we're being able to as well as other transit agencies. The main thing is that by giving our support to them, we're allowing ourselves to see an economic future that's going to allow us to have cheaper hydrogen in our area. So it'd be more feasible. And I know one of the possible potential areas would be Tracy, that we could build a station. So that will also help economic growth in our area as well. So by giving the support and the go ahead, we are giving support to the building of this hub.
If I could add on to Nate's presentation, we were approached by the California Transit Association about a month and a half ago to gauge our interest in joining this effort. Really, the state of California is interested in obtaining a $1.25 billion Department of Energy grant to build the hydrogen hub network in California. They have selected transit agencies that have committed to the hydrogen technology and are really mapping that out throughout California to demonstrate the demand for this fuel source in the future. So really it is, there's no fiscal commitment with this. It is saying we're all in, we support this. And the goal is to really bring down the price of hydrogen for all the, California transit agencies as well as privately. So with that, we can take any.
Very good. Any questions? Commissioner Brown and Commissioner Josie.
Thank you. We commissioners are board members. So if we're looking to support hydrogen, which I completely understand and would support, are we looking to have a facility in Tracy? Because Wheels is here in Livermore.
I think the location of the hub is still TBD. I know Tracy and Valley Link has made large efforts to take steps to produce hydrogen. I think Valley Link is also engaged with Arches, so I would imagine that this will all be a big network, whether it's produced in Tracy and trucked in to us and we're producing and we're buying, or maybe there's another opportunity to be more local with our hydrogen production.
Yeah, because Valley Link will come to Livermore.
Yeah.
And Wheels is in Livermore. Yeah. So we as an agency benefit from a site in Livermore rather than trucking hydrogen in. So I'll just make that on the record. And Nate, maybe you could help me or anyone in the room. Is a hydrogen manufacturing or processing facility, is it a big industrial facility or is it a fairly small gas station size, taking water to making it?
It's an industrial. They had no costs at that site. Tracy was just one of the options they had said. It wasn't anything solidified yet, but the main goal is to use that ground. It was something where we're at in our region of California, so that we can promote to all the other agencies that, hey, this was to
Tracy's better than Richmond or Southern California. In our grant application, are we making a request for the proximity of Livermore?
No, we're just providing information to them so that they can go and apply to the grants.
Yeah,
and then
I see.
We're just a strong candidate because we're already doing it.
Yeah. And you as our board have committed to hydrogen as your technology. And so it really is articulating how many fuel cell buses we expect to operate by year 2031, and that is 52. How many hydrogen fueling stations we expect to operate, that would be 1. And so again, it's to really paint the picture of the demand for hydrogen in the state of California. So we have a competitive grant application, so then they can start to build this network and make the affordability of hydrogen better, more affordable.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no fiscal impact associated with this letter of support.
Okay, thank you.
So unless the hydrogen is produced at Atlantis, we're gonna have to transport it. Whether it's from Livermore or from Tracy, we're gonna have to transport it to our facility one way or another. So I don't think it really matters to us one way or another, whether it's produced in Livermore or produced in Tracy.
But if you're transporting it a mile,
Yeah,
or you're transporting it 50 miles,
Well-
it just makes a big difference in cost.
yeah.
I mean, our buses could go a mile to get filled up, right? They're buses.
But our intent is to have a filling, have them filled in Atlantis.
Correct.
So we're gonna be filling our own tanks.
Correct.
I think a way to think about this might be in the petroleum market. There's refineries all the way in Richmond, and then there's gas stations on every corner. Do you want to be a Richmond or do you want to be a gas station on the corner? Here we're saying that refineries, we will have hubs, major, giant places producing lots of hydrogen for hundreds of thousands of people to use. And then it will get distributed locally to people who will then fill up their car or their bus. And we would be one of those as opposed to the refinery. I say, I can't see refinery, it's not a refinery, but it's analogous to a refinery. Is that right, Nathan?
The Arches project is analogous to the refinery.
Yeah.
See,
That's what
that,
we're talking
that
about
was
before.
my question, Chair. That was exactly, is this like, obviously petrochemical refineries are one level of industrial.
Yeah.
Taking water and separating the hydrogen and the oxygen molecule may be a cleaner facility, but
Mhm.
it's still industrial.
Yep.
Clear.
Giant.
Thank you.
Giant facility. Anybody else with the hand raised? Seeing none. Motion to approve?
So moved. So moved, Josie.
A
I'll
second.
second it. Let's have a roll call vote because we already took public comment.
I didn't receive any public comment via email, and I don't see any hands raised in the audience on Zoom. Director Branding,
Aye.
Director Brown,
Aye.
Vice Chair Hernandez. Aye. Director Josie.
Aye.
Director Kitt. Aye. Director Testa.
Aye.
Chair Howard.
Aye.
Motion
Item
passes.
6, Administrative Support Services Agreement with the Tri-Valley San Joaquin Valley Regional Rail Authority.
Mr. Chair, just to note that I'm going to recuse myself from this item. We have Christine Crowell who will be representing LAVTA for this because of my representation of Valley Link. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Good
Do we
afternoon.
have any public comment on this item? Seeing none, let's hear it from staff and Christine.
No,
You're
we
throwing
did-
me off, David. Oh
no,
my
we did
goodness.
not have any public comment.
Good afternoon, board members. Before you is an action item requesting you to authorize the executive director to execute an administrative support services agreement with the Tri-Valley San Joaquin Valley Regional Rail Authority. As you are all aware, since 2019, LAVTA has provided a variety of administrative support to Valley Link, including grant management, accounting, auditing, and procurement functions. We are recommending that LAVTA formally enter into this agreement with Valley Link so that we can assist Valley Link in pursuing and achieving their direct recipient grantee status with the Federal Transit Administration in order to obtain federal grants. LAVTA is an existing grantee with a great record with the FTA, and we are also a direct recipient. So we bring a lot of expertise and experience to these activities. Currently, your Director of Finance, Tamara Edwards, serves as Valley Link's Chief Financial Officer and does receive a stipend for that work. This agreement before you today memorializes the tasks that Tamara currently does and does provide a mechanism for Valley Link to request additional assignments on a task order basis. It also gives LAVTA the ability to turn down those task order requests if we do not have the staff available or the resources to perform those tasks. What else? There is a maximum fiscal impact of $180,000 a year on an annual basis, which both Executive Director Kevin Sheridan and I agree that seems like a reasonable amount, that we would not have any work that would exceed that dollar amount. This is an annual agreement. It will be renewed annually if both executive directors and boards are interested. In your packet, attachment 1 is our proposed MOU with Valley Link. I will just note that Exhibit B is blank. That was an error, and we will be filling the approved fee schedule out to include Tamara's fully loaded fiscal 23 hourly rate. Since she is the only staff member who is currently doing any work for Valley Link. So we think that her hourly rate, which is approximately $135 an hour, will be included in that fee schedule, and that would be updated on an annual basis as the agreement is extended. And with that, I will take your questions, please.
Okay, any questions? Board member Josie first, then Brown.
Okay, thank you. This is great. I love it. I did note that there were some typos in the actual contract itself that I've already moved on to staff, so that when we get to the point of making an actual motion, let's make sure the motion includes the small typographical corrections.
Very good. You'll be making the motion. Brown.
Thank you. I remember when long-termer, when the agreement was made between Valley Link and Wheels LAVTA, and there was agreement that it was somewhat temporary and that we didn't want to overstress our existing employees. And at one point, Valley Link would have its own staff. And I even remember Tamara saying, I'll do this for a while, but I don't want it to go on forever. So I'm surprised that this is continuing, so I'll just say it that way. And then at 130 hour, 180K seems like a lot of hours. Is that more hours than you can possibly provide?
It's not that much. Mine is 3,500 a month. When they originally wrote the agreement, they were including another employee who they are now going to take under as their employee. So she won't be through this contract.
So if that would, taking that into consideration, 180 sounds like it's way too much. What would be a better number? Because I'd be more comfortable with this if we had a realistic number for a single employee to be, and I don't want to cut, I know you're worth every penny of it, but 180, obviously 180 was not accurate. So what would be a more accurate number? And you can round up.
If we're just including me and
Just
we're
you,
not
maybe.
including the fees, they pay for some of the accounting software, stuff like that too. But if it's
Put it
just
on.
me, no, 42.
Okay.
They've offered me a raise. I
Maybe
did not
round up
get a
to
raise.
50 to allow for a couple additional tasks should they arise, because we don't want.
We
don't
did
know
talk
what-
about that. There are certain tasks that I've agreed to do, but if they had additional tasks.
Yeah.
We would bill them for that.
Okay, did you guys, were you able to hear that?
Yeah, so it's an up to amount, not a dollar amount set. It's an up to amount.
It's an up to, but she said, since it's just one employee right now, even up to 50,000 is more than they would ever need. Instead of 180,000.
So what's the reasoning behind 180 versus 50?
So when we were working on the staff report, we had Tamara was, providing additional services, and we had a seconded staff member, Candace. So she was a LAVTA employee who was 100% on Valley Link's time, doing all of their board work and their administrative work. But she was a LAVTA employee. So our intent was to capture her in this agreement. Well, since we have met and started to work on this, she is now becoming an employee of Valley Link, which is what we want. We want them to step up.
But we don't want them to take our.
Correct, no.
I'm not going
And
anywhere.
it was a different situation. Tamara receives a stipend for additional work above what she does here for LAVTA. So we should definitely modify the dollar amount to reflect that it is only Tamara and her, the small work that she does to support the financial needs of Valley Link and not Candace.
Does that mean we need to modify it for terms like grant writing, or if we just leave it at 50, or is everybody comfortable?
Yeah, I think so.
Staff comfortable, okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's my question. Thank you.
Well, that means it will be capped at 50,000. What if we want it, if they need us to do more work, do we have to come for a contract amendment?
Yes, if we were to take on more work through mutual agreement and we had the resources to do so, and it was to exceed that amount, we would need to do a contract amendment. Conversely, this will be executed every year. If we see that there might be more work coming, we could make a modification, the next time.
If this were an expenditure of our funds, I would see wanting to be very clear on the lower side. However, if this is an expenditure of their funds, is it a big deal? Like, it's their money to spend on us if we decide.
Well, we
not
don't
those
have,
services.
Valley doesn't have money.
You really don't. You really don't.
It's our resources, Chair. This is our resources that we're lending to them, and I would want to know,
I see.
we're gonna put another employee under their usage.
But the
Very good.
contract, if I
So,
might,
staff's okay with that? Jeannie?
if I might, yeah, the way it's worded, it's, if we have the time and it's task order based. So that they can't demand that we do work for them up to their amount. They say, hey, we've got the money, you have to do the work for us. It's not worded that way. It's worded that it's task order based and subject to our staff's availability. So I'm
This isn't, it should
comfortable
be a
with the-
board decision, is staff, if we're lending staff out.
I
it should come
understand,
back
we
to
are
us.
still. We still have that flexibility, but I don't, as a board member, certainly know what our staff does on a day-to-day basis and what their capacity to take on these extra tasks are. Do you?
250,000.
Well, I trust that,
180
I
is
trust the
big gap.
recommendation that they've given us. And if that's what they're saying that they need, then.
But they said 180 if there's 2 employees, 1 full-time employee. Now that that's off the board because that full-time employee is now an employee of Valley Link, you only have 1 left employee, partial use employee.
Plus the accounting work that's done.
That includes.
They pay for some software.
It's $15 a month. There's some other things that they're on.
I mean, I understand your point. I would hate for us to modify it down and then find out that, oh, they do need a little extra help on whatever it is.
That's why I wanted to round up.
Yeah.
So she said rounding up to 50, you can round up to 75 if you want to. I'm fine with that. I certainly don't want to count pennies. I just wouldn't want to allocate funds without it coming back to the board saying, here's what we're agreeing to.
But we're not allocating our funds.
I mean, agreeing to resources. So I want to have a say. I want to approve if we add more than just tomorrow.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda item 6, but I would like to see a cap of. You want to go higher?
I think 50,000 is fine. I really don't expect additional task orders.
Okay, all right, up to a limit of $50,000 with Valley Link.
To include the typographical
Yeah, with typographical repair, errors.
errors as noted. Is that fair enough? Can we make that motion that way?
Yes, please.
Christine, I see the head nod.
That
Any
works,
other
yes.
discussion by the board? Roll call. Oh, second. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Testa seconds.
Okay, and just on the record, there was no public comment for this. Director Branning,
Aye.
Director Brown,
Yes.
Vice Chair Hernandez, Director Josie.
Aye.
Director Pick.
Aye.
Director Testa,
Aye.
Chair Hubbard,
All right.
motion passes.
Item 7, Executive Director's Report.
Thank you, Christie.
All right.
Oh, and welcome back, Mr. Conneran.
And thank you to co-counsel.
We missed you, Mike.
Yeah,
Thanks all.
Long time no see.
Have a good meeting.
Thanks, Christine.
All right, I will provide some highlights from my executive director's report. First, not in the packet, but really importantly, we have Transit Driver Appreciation Day, which is March 18th, my daughter's birthday. That was just a coincidence. To celebrate, we are having a kind of a party, a lunch for our operators on March 17th. You have to wear green if you come, but I would like to extend this invitation to our board. You have a flyer right in front of you, and we'll make sure board members who are joining remotely, we will get you the flyer. It's from 11 to 2. We'll have street tacos, gifts, and raffle prizes, and just really want to say thank you to our drivers. They are the reason we exist, and they have a very important job.
Are they corned beef tacos?
Probably. Is that what you want? I'll make it happen,
I
Dave.
don't think our taco lady knows how to make corned beef.
Only on St. Patrick's.
Corned beef tacos. Okay. The second update is I'm really pleased that we have hired a director of operations. He will be joining us in about 6 weeks. His name is Michael Tobin. He is joining us from Southern California. He currently is the deputy director for the City of Culver City's Transit Division. He started his career working for Access Services and paratransit. I think he's got great energy, and Tony and he might start a band. He plays the banjo. So I'm really excited to welcome him to our family. I think he's moving to Pleasanton. So you'll meet him then probably at the committee meetings in April. Another really important, exciting highlight is we are adding more service. April 17th, we have hired enough drivers, or MV has hired enough drivers that we are able to restore the 10R to every 15 minutes weekdays. That's a huge milestone. We'll be at 90% of pre-pandemic service. So kudos. Is Regina here?
She's here.
I want to introduce Regina. Regina Flores, come stand up here, young lady. This is our new general manager. She is amazing. She's been here for a long time, worked her way up. And thank you, Regina, for everything you've done to hire and retain our drivers.
She actually started at the transit center in customer service.
Yeah, so Regina is our new general manager. We're super excited to have her. More fun stuff. We're going to be in your parade, your Dublin St. Patrick's Day parade, the Madden Cruiser. Oh yeah, we're going to be there. So Tony's going to be on board the bus. I'm just kidding, Tony.
Literally on board.
Walking by the bus.
CDL.
So that's exciting. We'll be there to celebrate that parade. And Tony just brought back more awards. So he just came back from Vegas. He didn't win big, so he came back. And we won 3 Ad Wheel Awards from the American Public Transportation Association. So yay, to add to our collection. We got awards for the Memorial Madden Cruiser, another one for the Memorial Madden Cruiser, and then for our operator recruitment campaign. So yay to Tony for all the good work. And we'll be tweeting about this. They're putting it on social media.
I'll put it in the newspapers. You're going to put it in the.
Oh, we can.
That's
Really
really
cool. Yeah. Moving to finance and administration, I just wanted to circle back really quickly on the BART feeder bus funding. You may recall BART has requested a reduction in the BART feeder bus funds that they pay to the 4 small East Bay operators. We receive, I think, $800,000 a year. We have agreed to take a 15% reduction in this year's budget and a 25% reduction in next year's. We feel we can absorb that without having any service cuts. Other systems are taking a much more significant hit. They have a larger part of their budget is funded through the BART feeder bus funding, particularly Westcat and East Contra Costa Transportation Association. So we are looking forward to meeting with BART and NTC in the near future to discuss the methodology for these BART feeder bus payments. These are like legacy payments, these, over 2 decades old. So it's time to look at it. BART's also expanded. They haven't come out to Livermore, but they have expanded in other areas. So we're still doing our BART feeder.
They're coming a little.
I know they're not. I know.
Not even a probably.
So yeah, so we're gonna.
When you say feeder buses, those are our buses that bring riders to BART and from BART.
Correct. Yep. So I think back in the 90s, 97,
97.
there was a feeder bus agreement, and LAVTA's 12 and 20 at the time, and our 14.
No, it was just the 12 and 20 back in the day.
Okay.
We placed 2 of the feeder bus services that they provided. They were contracting with Laidlaw, and they decided it would be less expensive to have the transit agencies do the work.
Yeah. So there's some history there. So, but it's time to crack it open. And just, we are going after money, trying to build out our Atlantis Operations and Maintenance Facility. So we did submit for TIRSIP Cycle 6 in partnership with County Connection, 2 CTA, and I think East Contra Costa. It was kind of another collaborative application. And we are also submitting an application for this year's federal low and no emissions vehicles and bus facilities. So we are asking for quite a big chunk of money, over close to 40 million, to build out the Atlantis Operations and Maintenance Facility. And those applications are due in April. We will be seeking letters of support as we normally do for those.
Okay, question on that. With Jennifer Yeomans out right now, how do you fill the spot for the grant writer? Is that a contractor or do you guys?
I'm doing my work.
Looking at the grant writer.
You are, you've got Nate back there. We are all working on it as we can. And Jennifer, I've been in good communication with her. I'm hoping to see her Thursday and ask her some grant questions as I'm driving her to treatment. But no, she actually, as long as she's feeling okay, she can provide some limited support from home and do proofing of grants, which I think actually would be really the best thing for her. She can do that on her own. So,
Okay, thank you.
and also included in your packet are your statistics from January 2023, your Go Tri-Valley statistics, and your upcoming committee items. With that, I can take any questions.
Question about the statistics, Board Member Brown?
I'm just want to catch up. How's ridership January or this month, the March, let's see, February to February?
We are February to February, winter ridership February is 7,090. So we are about 36% below pre-COVID. So that's pretty good. Weekend is still strong. And I would expect with more service, once we add the 10R, we will see a bump in ridership.
And the Go Tri-Valley monthly trips looks very nice,
Mhm.
very strong.
Yep, very strong.
All right. Thank you, Chair.
Josie, Board Member Josie? Question? Hernandez?
I'm good.
Public comment on the Executive Director's Report?
We did not receive any public comments.
Seeing none, item 8, matters initiated by Board of Directors. Seeing none, item 9, next meeting scheduled for April 3rd. We are adjourned.
All right. Taco sounds fun.
Thank you. We did it. Yay.
Thank you all.
Corned beef cabbage. Yeah.
You're getting a corned beef taco.